The European Parliament is just becoming more and more important institution. They decide a lot of things which can affect the everyday lives of the citizens here in Düsseldorf and in other parts of Europe as well. And since Europe now lives in quite turbulent times, I think it is very important to have good leadership, responsible politicians in the European Parliament. I think that's the most important thing at the end of May's European Parliament elections. Well, culture, education, but also youth policy, which I'm responsible for as well, are very important elements or building blocks of the European identity, because education can contribute to strengthening the European identity with, for instance, teaching European values or the history of the European nations, or to make students more sensitive to the European common future. Culture is a natural background of the European identity. I think the European identity itself is based on culture, so that's why culture can be a really important part of the European identity. And youth, which is a dedicated constituency for the European identity. Young people and the upcoming generations are the best representatives of a future European identity. For instance, the so-called Erasmus generation. And the members of Erasmus generation have an everyday experience. What does it mean to be European, and how they can live in Europe as European citizens? We can initiate projects which can bring so-called European added value, which means that those projects can bring more benefits than usual bilateral cooperation and bilateral agreements. And Erasmus is a perfect example for that. I think Erasmus in education was really a revolutionary force. It made massive students' mobility a reality, and it is very important for the future perspectives of the students to study abroad, to get friends abroad, and have a personal network regardless of the national borders or linguistic borders. And it can really revolutionize the future of the higher education and the European community's future as well. We can create or help the member states to create the cultural criteria for having a European public. That means foreign language acquisition, educating foreign languages. That means intercultural dialogue, sharing experiences of different regional or local communities, but also means discovering our cultural heritage. Last year was the European Year of Cultural Heritage, and we had a lot of very successful programs at local and regional level where those communities discovered or rediscovered their cultural treasures, cultural traditions, which can be a good fundament for the future European identity.